The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the #1 podcast network and the Icons of Real Estate podcast. I'm your host, Tipmson, and today my guest is Scott Hobbs. He's a dedicated New Jersey realtor of 6 years, known for his deep local knowledge and commitment to his clients. Scott's a friend, so this is going to be an exciting conversation, but I just want you all to know that this is his second career, having retired from the Bridgewater, New Jersey Police Department, and he's become primarily a listing agent, but I want to hear all about how you got into this crazy business, Scott. So welcome to Icons. Really appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks for having me on today. So, how did I get started in this? I served as a law enforcement officer for 25 years. And when it was time to retire 6 years ago, it was looking for some other law enforcement related jobs, and they all fell through. So I'm like, okay, so the good Lord's telling you that law enforcement's not for you anymore. You're done. So I've always had an interest in real estate, and I said, I'll give this a try. And one thing led to another, and 6 years later, here I am, and having a lot of fun with it, and been successful with it. So it's all
That's
good.
amazing. I know you're a great agent. We work together. This is, no holds barred, and we're fully transparent here. But I just wanted to know, what about it, really makes you excited? Because you are an incredible agent. You do such a good job. I know that you have outshined a lot of people in your own office. What really makes this work for you? And what do you like most about the job?
I like the whole transaction of getting to know a client, working with them, and finding out what their goals are and how I can help them achieve those goals. But part of it is that my law enforcement background, we dealt with a lot of stressful situations. So, what's stressful for some people in real estate isn't really that stressful for me. And my clients say, you're very relaxed. You don't get upset and you don't get stressed out. And it transfers into the transaction. And I have a good team of people like my attorneys and my mortgage people, my inspector, that we keep all the deals going together, and everybody just seems to work well together. And next thing you know, we're closing.
That's amazing. I actually really am grateful for you telling me that, because in all the years that we've known each other, I've never asked you why police officers, and I guess also teachers, tend to make the best real estate agents, as far as I can understand, when they're coming in from a second career. You answered that. But also, just from a personal note, what do you think is making this such an exciting career for you? You've done it for 6 years now. I mean, you're clearly in the thick of it.
Well, I think the biggest thing is success. Because if you're not having success, you're not having fun. And if you're not having fun, you're just not really doing it. So it's in a way, I need this job. This is a career. So I take it very seriously. It's not a part-time thing. I'm a very full-time agent, but I also have a pension. So therefore, if Kat and I work a deal together, I'm going to give you the best service as my client. But if not, I'm still going to eat tonight. I'm still going to pay my bills, and we'll have a good luck and good luck. We'll move on. But I think that's also partly what translates into it, because I don't have what they call commission breath.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you got to sign, Kat, you got to work with me on this. We got to, and so it kind of all goes together. And then when you start seeing the success, that builds off of itself, because other people say, oh, wow, he's successful. He knows what he's doing. And there's a couple times where I kind of have imposter syndrome, where it's like, how am I doing this? And it's like, should I really be doing this? Because it's not like this was, oh, you were doing this and this is what you were trained for. But it's working, and I enjoy it.
Well, you are trained for it. I mean, I know that you spend a lot of time getting your education, as a lot of real estate agents do, but I also know that you have some special ways of doing your marketing. Do you mind telling the audience what you've taken on that a lot of people aren't willing to do, and you have something that's regular and it's working for you?
Oh, my Wednesdays with Scott program is every Wednesday from 9 to 10. I am online for just talking about stuff for an hour. And a lot of it isn't even real estate related. A lot of it's current
Mm,
events. You've been a guest host, you've been a co host with me on that. And you see my notes and the preparation that I do for it. And it just works. And I've built a community. We do trivia questions. And I spend about of the hour, I spend about 15 minutes on real estate. The rest of it is all just current events and different topics. And the funny thing on the program, and it was just 5 years now that I've been doing it.
wow,
Well,
congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Four of it's been online. I started out at a coffee shop, and we would go to different local coffee shops, and I'd bring a mortgage rep with me, and we'd set up shop there. And if you came and talked to me and said hello or asked me a question, we got you a free coffee.
Yeah.
So it was starting to get traction. It was starting to build, and then COVID hit,
Mm,
and as you know, everything got shut down.
yep.
So one of my clients reached out and goes, you know, you should do that Wednesdays with Scott online. I'm like, maybe I will. So we put some things together. I thought, an hour goes very slowly when you're not prepared. Because the first two sessions, I'm like, I got enough stuff for an hour. And within 30 minutes of the program, I'm like, okay, so let's recap what we talked about. And let's recap again what we talked about.
Yeah.
And then that's when I said, okay, well, if you're going to do this, you got to get serious and put some work into it. So as soon as so today is a Thursday that we're doing this program. So yesterday was my program for that. As soon as that ended, I'm already starting to work on notes for next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're reiterating something. So I'm going to just say to the audience, if you're not noticing this, a couple of things really stand out to me. One, you've been incredibly consistent, and two, you've been prepared. And that makes a huge difference. And that's part of why we talk to other agents to share some of the
Yeah.
knowledge that you've gained, because there are people out there who are listening to it who may be a new agent, who may be either a seasoned agent, but they've never really taken on the opportunity to talk to people or use their online presence the way you have. And how has the community grown? Like what's happened with that since you started?
Well, I have people that come on that are regulars. You see that from when you were on. You see that people come in and they'll
Yeah.
type in comments on the screen, and I'll answer, and banter goes back and forth on that. So sometimes the show may go in a completely different direction than what I was thinking for the day, but that's okay. It's all
Yeah.
good about being live, and it is truly live. I mean, there's no like, okay, well, let's start this over again and try again, because we're out there and it's going. And things happen where it gets shut down because of an internet connection, or if I forget to say I own the rights to the music, Facebook will shut me down. But anyway, um, it's just they all start knowing each other.
Yeah.
So I've had some functions at my house, and people say, "Oh, you're Julie. Oh, you're Diane. Oh, I see you online." And they got to meet and they got to talking, and
Yeah.
so that's how that community has grown. And then other people say, "Oh, I see your program online. I love looking at what you do," and that's kind of helped with my whole social media presence, because I also do not just that, but I have a strong Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, LinkedIn. So people are saying, I see you everywhere.
Right.
And
And
that's kind of what
actually,
you would.
I'm just curious because a lot of people, they like that they have content. And I think it's hugely important to have something online and then you can use it for your content. But why don't you tell people how that is translated for business? Because it's all nice to be out there, but it's not really helpful if it doesn't translate to getting the money in the door. So, how has that been working?
It's been working, and not so much that, hey, I saw you. No, I did have one or two that have said, I saw your online stuff, or I see your ad in the Breeze newspaper,
Yeah.
and so we want to use you. But it just where people go, as I learned in one class, that everybody now does everything online. So social media is your new marketing platform now. It's a
Yeah.
new tool of marketing. And people are going to do the research on you before they even call you. So they're looking at my Facebook page, they're looking at my Instagram, they're looking at my Google reviews and my Google business page and saying, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Now
Yeah.
let's give him a call.
Yeah. Yeah. So it gives them a way to understand who you are To know, like, and trust
And no,
you.
like I was just going to say, no like and
Yeah,
trust.
that's our favorite. Know, like, and trust. So in the work that you've been doing, Scott, is there anything in particular that you've really come to adore? And actually, what's like between, I'd love to hear like your favorite thing about the business and then maybe your most challenging thing about the business.
Mm, favorite thing about the business, I would have to say, is seeing the transaction from beginning to end and
Hmm.
seeing the close. And then part of that is it's also post closing because I stay in touch with my clients. And like I just recently have been doing limoncello deliveries. I make homemade limoncello
Yum.
and I deliver it at the end of the year as a holiday gift. And it's a chance to it's the ultimate drop by. And I drop it off and they will come in. Hey, Scott, it's so great to see you. Oh, what's going on? And oh, let me show you what I did in the kitchen. And we go from there. And I've had two of my clients that said, I'm going to be giving you a call because we're getting ready to list this, or I'm going to be doing this. So it just keeps you on top of mind. And that's what I like. I just like the relationship building with it. And
Yeah.
so
And what's the most
the,
challenging thing these days?
the most challenging thing is getting people to understand what's going on and being the knowledgeable person or resource for them, because what they see online and what they hear in the news, and they hear a reporter talking about that real estate agents are not needed, and that I don't have to pay you and we don't have to do this, and it just makes a difference being able to explain and knowing my worth and being able to translate that to my clients. And that's been tough sometimes because they're
Yeah.
like, well, I saw this, and my brother's friend's cousin is a real estate agent and they said they could help me. And you don't need an amateur, you need somebody that knows, especially with lately all the ins and outs and what you need to do.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that people don't necessarily realize that we have a license, and you would never go into your doctor's office and be like, well, I heard that this is how you do it. Like the state doesn't give you a license if if
Right.
you
And
haven't had a reason to have it, right? But
and
I'd
and,
like
and
to,
God.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, you're not going to say it to the doctor. So, like, you're going to discount this for me because Dr. Smith down the street is going to do the same thing. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah. So
exactly.
it's just your worth, and you have and if you don't go in confident and knowing what your worth is and getting that to be conveyed to the people that you're working with, it'll be tough. But that's why you just have, nope, this is where we're at. And so,
Yeah. Well, it's so clear you know what you're doing now, but like if you had a moment and you could go back and you could talk to young realtor Scott, what might you say to him? Like what would you suggest is the thing that you did either best or maybe even worse that you'd like to,
I would,
offer to other people?
I would tell young real estate Hobbs to to make sure you follow up and to build up your CRM and to work your CRM, because
Your client relationship
relation
management for
manager,
anybody who
yes,
may not know, right?
sorry, yes. um I came from a career that was also acronyms before I came into real estate
Yeah.
law enforcement. A lot of acronyms, so that
I
it's
have a
just sorry.
lot of acronyms, exactly.
But no, that was it, because there are times where I'm just like, because that's going to just keep that funnel and you keep it going, and it just makes a lot easier that you're not constantly, at least in the beginning where I was constantly reinventing the wheel.
Mm,
And I would also say, don't go after every shiny penny that comes along.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
This is the new thing that's going to, do this. Pay me $600 a month and I'll get you this. No. Because if your clients are starting to send you stuff, because I'm now at the point where I'm starting to get the people that they say the average is what, 5 to 7 years of being in a
sure.
house before they do. So that's where we're at now. So I've got people that are starting to say, hey, I'm looking to do this. We're looking to do that. And it's been a bit of a challenge with the interest rates and with the lack of inventory.
Yeah.
Um, my son is a perfect example. He's got the golden handcuffs. He's got a 2.7 mortgage. Wants something bigger, but there's only three of them, so it works where they're at. He goes, Dad, where am I going to go to 7% if I'm at 2.7?
Yeah, that is super challenging.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
but so he hasn't had a life event that has made him say, okay, I need to make this move. So,
Yeah. Well, sometimes it happens, right?
yeah, yeah.
We'll see if life events, they always happen when people aren't expecting them. But I totally get that because it's really cyclical. And I think a lot of people starting out don't understand that if they keep going very quickly, there'll be more business because somebody needs to do the next step. Either they loved what they were in and they need to upgrade, upsize, whatever it is, or they're willing to look at maybe an investment property or something now that they
Mm.
have, the taste of it. So with this new year coming up, Scott, like what do you want to see happen? You've been doing really well. I'm sure you want to grow your business. What
Yes.
else do you want to see happening for you in your business?
Well, I want to grow the business. And it's also last year, beginning of last year, middle of last year, I had that moment where I'm at this level, but if I want to get to this level, I have to do this. And that's where I said, okay, we got to take this to another level.
Hmm.
And that's where
Hmm.
I'm at. And last year I set a serious goal, but as you know, with the market at the end of the year, it was kind of rough and didn't quite hit those goals. But I've got my vision board behind me here that
Nice, nice.
keeps me focused. And my goal this year is 20 to 25 homes. And I've got several things already on coming on in the next couple of weeks. And I'm taking out a buyer, great young couple, taking them out. They've been fun. Um, Taking them out for this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So um, we lost out on an offer this past week. We were very close, but we lost out on it. So, and they're understanding that and explaining the whole process and what's next and how we do that. So that's been fun and keeps you refreshed. So
Yeah.
it's just at that point of where I'm at, okay, and then having some decisions to make. If I do grow, do I need to hire a transaction coordinator or an admin? I don't think I want a team, but I do probably would want a transaction coordinator or an admin or a slash both,
Yeah.
where they can do a lot of the stuff where it will free me up to do other things.
Yeah, put you in your zone of genius, allow
Yeah.
you to go
So
out and meet the people and do the things you're great at. I just actually want to back up for 1 second when you said that you like to be focused. Like if you were helping an agent who either is starting out or maybe sort of losing their mojo, how might you get them back focused? Like what do you do to keep yourself focused on this business? Because every day it's a challenge to get up and ask somebody for business or look for business.
well, I learned also near the end of last year because I was in a little bit of a funk because it was just so tough. But
Yeah.
somebody told me you have to have a reason to get out of bed. You have to be obsessed with your business and treat it like a business because for a little bit there, people were like, oh, no, that's just fun, or you're having fun, or no, that's actually a business. And
Yeah.
and I've gotten things out of the business because like I said, I have other things, but this pays for like the porch I just had redone at my house. So it'll pay for trips and different things like that. It'll pay for bills and things, but that's the extra. So if you want to have these things, you got to go out, and that's one of your whys.
Yeah.
So just reinventing or retooling and relooking at what the why is. And like I said, having that behind me with the vision board there keeps you focused. It's got homes that you can color in as you close on them. So it's like, all right, so keep filling that in and
I'm glad
things
you're
like
using
that.
a coloring book.
Not a coloring book. It's got the homes on there that you can color. They're not colored in now, but they're there. See?
I see. I see. But I love that because I think it's so important to know that you have reasons that you want to work. I think
Work.
there are a
Yeah.
lot of jobs where people go to the office and they do the work because that's the job, but we have a different set of
Mm.
reasons because every single day brings new challenges. And if you're not looking for the outcome, but yet it's such a balance, right? Because I know you
Yeah.
mentioned the fact that people do have commission breath. And for those of you who may be new to this business, that's the least thing you want for your clients
Right.
to feel like this is all about you. It's really all about them. So I think that's so important. And I love your porch. I've seen your porch. It's a nice
So,
porch.
yeah.
Done
And,
well.
this year's the siding. So we'll see. But those things cost money and you have to go out and do that. So, but part of it is the whole roller coaster of, okay,
Mm,
we're doing great, we're doing great. Yeah. But you got to stay focused when you're up here because otherwise it's going to quickly go down.
yeah,
And if you're not having anything coming in, it's like, it'll be a while before you have something coming. So,
it's true. It's hard. I mean, I think that a lot of people don't realize that keeping your foot on the gas is the hardest part when you're actually doing well,
right.
because that's the time you just want to be like, oh, got it. I'm
Good.
good.
Good. We're good. Things are looking great. I got two closings coming up. But
Yeah.
and the other thing is like I like to also have fun. So like I like to travel. I like to go do things. I like to do bike rides and things like that. And so
Yeah.
it's just a matter of also time blocking. So I got more serious on the time blocking also where okay, from this time to this time, this is when I'm working. I can work longer but I'm committing this and I have to be in my office or at the office at work at this time and working from here to here and
Yeah.
then put my appointments after that time and then hey, I can always keep doing work. So because I want to I've built my social media up and I want to keep building it and what people saying, oh, I see you everywhere. And I like people saying, oh, I like your content. And I'm 59 years old. So it's not like I'm like one of the young guys that are like, I'm like, hey, look, I could do it. I'm doing this. And my kids sometimes give me an eye roll when I'm sometimes put some things out. And it's like, oh well,
Oh, well,
you know.
like all of us,
Yeah.
like all of
So
us, there's always somebody to judge, and your children
yeah,
are the first ones to do it.
do it and quickly. But they've told me don't. I can't do funny or fancy, goofy TikToks. They told me not to do those. So,
Oh,
but
I say go for it, but yeah.
so
No, I
no.
know,
But
I
I
hear
do
that.
enough. You've seen my content. I do
Yeah.
enough stuff on there and trying to figure out what's interesting and what's working. I've got a couple of people that I follow that give me good content. I might be going out to San Diego in March for a mastermind, social media mastermind thing. So we'll
Do you
see
know
if we
those are,
can.
do you find those helpful? Do you think they're important for people?
I do because, like I said earlier, it's your new marketing is social
Mm,
media, and uh, one of my coaches gave an example of that. He had an agent that went in was doing a listing presentation, and it was to a younger person in their 30s, and he pulled up his Instagram page and is like, "All right, thanks for coming. Um, I won't be using you." Because
because,
he didn't like what he had on his social media content stuff.
wow,
He didn't have good content.
wow.
So you put stuff out and not just put just sold and things. I put the process sometimes like tomorrow I'll show them that we're out looking at homes and I do different things to also show there's more to it. So
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot that you can do with it. So I've built on it and I am far from like a what's the word, social media influencer. I'm far from an influencer, but I've had a couple of people say, "No, you influence me." I'm like, "Wow, go figure." But I'm not going to.
Absolutely. No, you've been
I'm
inspirational, I think,
intentional.
for a lot of people
Yeah,
because your consistency and the program that you do, we talked about,
yeah.
Wednesdays with Scott, is so different than most people, and it takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
And
Well, sometimes it's tough, and there's another Scott Hobbs in New Jersey that's a real estate agent, and
no,
we've met. Yes, and he's white too. So we
you
joke
need
about
to
that.
do you need to do a piece for the two of you guys. That'd
he
be
he
great.
he is on next Wednesday.
Oh, brilliant. That's
It's
so
going to
good.
be we're calling it Wednesdays with Scott Squared.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
listen, Scott, I really appreciate you letting us pick your brain a little about what you do and what you've accomplished in your 6 years. If people want to check you out and want to check out Wednesdays with Scott, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, they're my numbers the best way is 908-295-9097. But also Scott Hobbs on Facebook, Scott Hobbs Realtor on Instagram, and all my pages are pretty much consistent throughout the whole platform. So whatever name you put in, I'll come up. So
Okay, cool.
under the
And
Scott
Wednesdays
Hobbs.
with Scott is on Facebook at
Nine
9 p.m.
o'clock. Yep.
Eastern.
9 Eastern. But it goes through the whole week. So like if they miss it on Wednesday live, they won't be able to win the prizes or anything or have a chance to win the prizes, but they can get see the same thing and it runs for the week. And I follow it and track it and see how my views go throughout the whole week. And certain
Yeah.
guest hosts have been like high numbers and even my numbers have been pretty consistent. So
Well, I love that. And listen, if you guys are watching, check Scott out, not only for the information that he gives on his program, but just to inspire you because it's so important to do something that really reflects you. And Wednesdays with Scott has been such an important part of who you are and has really stood out. And we have a lot of people in our area, and you have stood out as a very special and capable realtor. So I thank you for that. And thank you
you.
for spending the time with us here. Listen, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please like, share, comment, and check us out on both YouTube, Instagram, and anywhere that you get your local podcasts. Scott, thank you so much for
Yeah,
spending the time.
no problem. Thank you for having me. I
And
appreciate
I'll
it.
absolutely.
All right.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Icons Real Estate. I'm your host, Kat Timson. See you soon.